With Uplevel's 3.0 release, we've now changed the way to IP address the LAN scheme of the gateway. So now what you'll do is come into the specific customer's site. You'll see this configure option to the right of each site name. And down at the bottom, you'll now view an IP and DNS tab in the left-hand pane. This is actually going to be where you can set the entire LAN scheme of the customer as a whole across all of their office locations. So that means you can come into this single pane of glass here and set the entire customer IP scheme for all subnets everywhere across the customer. Up at the top, you'll see this edit addresses option. This is going to be where you'll specify the customer network. This is obviously going to be what scheme all of those subnets fall within. You will notice that the configuration is going to be a dashed convention as opposed to a dotted, but down at the bottom you will see the dotted equivalent of that dash there. This -8 is obviously indicating that the first 8 bits of that IP address will go for the customer network as a whole, as opposed to the prefix length of those subnets down at the bottom, this second option here, that is represented again by that dotted convention below. That -24 is going to represent that anything after the 24th bit to the 32nd bit is going to be used for IP addresses within those subnets, meaning that the 16 bits between the 8th and the 24th, so the 16 bits living right here, are going to be allocated for subnet usage. So those are going to be the values that will change with each subnet. As you scroll down, you'll notice I have a bunch of different subnets that are already created on the network that follow the schemes. So they all start with a 10 dot something scheme, and those second and third bits can then be used for those subnets individually. So the first is going to take this 0.0 subnet, the second is actually going to take this 1.0 subnet, and then the third has taken the 0.2 subnet. So you can have up to 2 to the 16 different subnets on this specific customer network. Now, obviously, those values will change if you come in and change any of these values up here. So let's say, for instance, instead of a -8 network, I wanted it to be a -16 network, meaning the first 16 bits of the IP address are used for the customer network, meaning anything between the 16 and the 24th bit are going to be used for those subnets. That means that I then have 8 bits in the third octet to play around with for those subnets. The group prefix length also represents the number of bits that are used for devices. So this means I get 2 to the 8, the difference between 24 and 32 bits, the 24th and the 32nd bit, for the number of devices that can be connected to that specific subnet. So in this particular instance, I have 255 different devices that can be connected. If I need to have more devices, I can always allocate more space to it. So now instead of -24, I have a -20 subnet, meaning the difference between 20 and 32 is the number of different devices I can have connected to the network. So in this instance, I would have 2 to the 12 different IP addresses for those devices on each subnet. Moving down, for each individual subnet, you can then click the details option. This will allow you to come in and specify the DHCP ranges for each of those individual subnets, as well as viewing that subnet as a whole up at the top again. You can change these ranges as you need to avoid any static IPs that are currently configured on the LAN side of the gateway. And then you can also come in and turn off that DHCP server using that checkbox to the left to disable that server as a whole. Obviously, if you have another DHCP server, you'll need to turn that off so that those two do not collide. For any questions, don't hesitate to ever reach out to us at support@uplevelsystems.com. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks so much.